Husky fans, welcome into episode number 2 of NIU Weekly. Oh, it's a great first game for NIU football. Going on the road to Boston College, getting the win in overtime, 27-24. Great crowd, a lot of Husky fans out there, and we're expecting a lot of Husky fans here on Saturday. Huskies have the home opener, taking on Southern Illinois, kickoff 2:30 p.m. Looking forward to having a lot of fans out at Huskie Stadium. Looking forward to having a nice crowd, good weather as Huskies take on the Salukis. We're going to talk about football. Head coach Thomas Hammock talk about the overtime win, getting ready for Southern Illinois this week. But we're also going to talk about tickets. Season opener. Everybody's trying to get their tickets. Hopefully you have your tickets already. There's some clear bag policies in advance of getting into the stadium. Parking. We're going to talk about it with Briana Tallitsch. She's the Assistant Athletic Director for Ticket Operations. She's going to talk about all the information, what you need to know if you haven't gotten tickets, if you've got your tickets, what's next, parking. The yard's going to be open. Briana's going to talk about that as well. And we're also going to do our weekly feature, a look back with Bill Baker. Bill's going to talk about how he got his start at NIU 44 years ago. So Bill Baker and myself will talk about that. So a busy show here on NIU Weekly. Let's start with football. We'll start with head coach Thomas Hammock. We recap the win at Boston College. Well, the Husky football team starts out 2023 1-0. Got their 18th Boneyard victory, 27-24 over Boston College in overtime. Andy Garcia alongside the head coach Thomas Hammock. And coach, again, congratulations. Up and down, right? You had the momentum. They got it back, get into overtime, and you guys win the coin toss. The defense gets that stop, gets a field goal for BC, and then Lombardi gets the touchdown to end it all. Ups and downs, but Thomas, after looking at the film and watching what you saw, how would you describe how this team played on Saturday and got the win?
Well, I like that we had the ability to find a way as a football team, but we can play so much better in all three phases. And so to come off, go on the road and win a game like that, knowing that we can play so much better, gives us encouragement as a staff. I think our players should have encouragement that these are the things that we need to work on to get better so we can play at a higher level and try to become more dominant each and every single week.
You had confidence in this team when we started in the preseason, Thomas, and it kind of showed. And I want to start on the defensive side because you wanted to see improvement overall. Not that the defense was bad last year, but you want to see improvement, Thomas. And I think we saw that already in game 1, taking on an ACC team. What'd you see again with the defense on Saturday?
I think you saw 11 guys working together as one. They tackled well. I think we gave up, we tracked yards after contact. They gave up 72 yards after contact. Had a turnover. Thought we had 2 turnovers, but one obviously got changed. But I thought they tackled well. I thought they made plays in space. That quarterback was a great athlete. I thought we contained him for the most part. We talk about winning the moment. We don't believe in momentum. Momentum is the next play. So if something bad happens, come back the next play and give yourself another opportunity to play defense. And I thought those guys stuck together through thick and thin, and I thought they gave us a chance to win the game.
You talked about it last week that they're going to want to try to establish the run. And, yes, they got some yardage, Thomas, but they weren't able to get that long run. It was a lot because NIU didn't have a lot of missed tackles. Once they got the guy, they were able to wrap him up and gang tackle him, not let him get those extra yards.
No, we worked a lot on tackling, especially for the first game, and we will continue to do so for the first month. I mean, we want to make sure we have, clean fundamentals and techniques when it comes to tackling, proper angles, tackling technique, as far as should it be a side profile tackle, a head-up tackle. So we spent a lot of time as a staff talking about the things that showed up on tape last year. And I think we got some of those things cleaned up. And we will continue to try to clean those things up as you go, because as we know, it's not a game of perfect. But we are striving to be as good as we can possibly be each and every single week.
I was impressed with the secondary, Thomas, because BC took their chances long, right? They wanted to go deep, but the defenders, they turned around, they saw what the ball was, making it tough on the receivers, and the interception from Javon Bird, which we talked about, getting that interception, getting the ball back. But secondary-wise, really did a good job of reading those long plays, those long balls, and reacting to them.
No, I thought, all training camp, I talked about the improvement of the secondary. It was good to watch those guys go out there and make plays. A guy, Jacob Finley had 5 tackles, big time tackles on the perimeter, uh, played good in coverage. So I thought for us, the back end gave us a real good chance to play the type of defense we wanted to play. I think up front, I think our D line can play a little bit better. But it's good when you have 11 guys working together, and then you add in the linebackers. Those guys did a tremendous job helping in coverage, getting to the proper drops. All those things matter when you talk about pass defense, and it was good to see that whole unit working together.
I want to talk more about the linebackers because Deron Gilbert seemed to be all over the field. Devin Lafayette as well. Even Tyler Jackson. Again, all the linebackers contributing. Their speed really showed off against BC on Saturday, Tom.
No, Coach Bresky has done a great job with that group. Coaching matters, and he's come in. He's been a big piece to our defensive puzzle, getting those guys lined up with the right footwork, the right eye discipline, proper drops. I mean, all those things showed up on tape. Yeah. In a position that people may have thought was a liability has really become a strength. And now we got to fight for that consistency week in and week out. But I believe in Coach Bresky and how he's coached those guys, and I believe in how those guys are playing.
You talk about the defense complementing the offense. Devon Bird gets that interception, and then it's that 7-minute drive from the offense that leads to the Brock Lampy touchdown. So that's what you're looking for, right? You want the defense now to help out the offense.
Yeah, you talk about, complementary football. When you have a defense that you feel like has the ability to play sound and solid, you're going to take less risk on offense. I mean, you're going to give them guys a chance to do what they do as well. And we played a complementary style on Saturday. I do think we need to play better on special teams. Was disappointing in our punting performance. I think we can flip the field more for our defense. I think there are some other things on special teams we have to clean up as well. But, to play the style we want to play, we have to be good in all 3 phases. And I like two of the phases, offense and defense, and then obviously clean up special teams as we go.
Let's talk a little bit about that offense and Rocky Lombardi and what you saw from Rocky on Saturday.
No, I think obviously, there's some plays Rocky would love to have back. He understands he needs to play better. And he will, and we're going to continue to give him opportunities to show what he can do in the passing game, because I think we have a lot of weapons to distribute the ball to. So, I think he's his toughest critic, but he will respond the right way, and I'm anxious to see him practice this week.
He ran for 166 yards, and a lot of people got in the act. We saw Ontario Brown. I liked what I saw from Gavin Williams. Again, coming from Iowa, Husky fans got their first look at what Gavin Williams could do. Break that outside first, that containment, who's able to get to the outside and get some hard yards as well, Thomas. But I know you want to run the football. What did you see on Saturday?
No, I mean, we obviously got to be a little more efficient in the run game. We ran it 48 times, but the efficiency, you would love to be above 4 yards per carry. With that amount of touches. So we got to fight for those edges. But, credit to BC. They had a good defensive front. They're very physical, very big. Guys play downhill. But I love the resolve of our group, the tight ends. I mean, everybody talks about our O-line. We asked our tight ends to do a lot in the run game. And those guys battled in there. And then the receivers on the perimeter. So, we'll get the run game going. For us, it's about maintaining that balance with the passing game. And if we can maintain that balance, we can become very versatile on offense.
Thomas, you mentioned the offensive line. I thought a key stat from Saturday, 0 sacks. No sacks given up. Gave Rocky Lombardi time to throw, open up some lanes in the run game. Again, only the first game, but I like what I saw from the O-line.
Yeah, I mean, we want the quarterback to feel comfortable. Teams are going to have different blitzes and pressures every week to try to attack the quarterback. But we want that guy in the pocket to be comfortable, because he has the hardest job on the field. And like the way that unit has gelled, got a lot of guys with playing experience, which is a bonus. Got a lot of guys returning another year after the season. So we feel like that position can continue to evolve. Got a young guy in there, Evan Malcor, who played about 15 snaps. He played well when he was out there. So trying to build depth along the offensive line and make sure we protect that quarterback.
Tell me about Brock Lampy, because he's been around the program. We know him. He got in the run game, got a touchdown, a fantastic one-handed catch, part of the receiving. But again, Brock Lampy, a huge part of how the offense is able to run the ball. And again, he's not going to get his name mentioned a lot when he's blocking up front or trying to make holes in the run game. But he got his name out there a lot on Saturday.
Yeah, no, Brock, Swiss Army knife. He can do it all. He can run the ball. He can catch the ball. He's a tremendous blocker. We move him all over the field. If you watch the game tape that like we watch, it's probably 20 different positions that he played on offense. So we're going to continue to do so. He's very valuable. He brings a physical presence, and he loves football. So he was a guy that walked on as a linebacker. I said, listen, you would make a great fullback. I don't think he bought into it early. But I told him the story about Derek Watt. Derek Watt was a linebacker at Wisconsin. I said, Derek, you're just a special teams player, but you could be a great fullback. And he's still playing in the NFL 6 or 7 years into the NFL with the Steelers. And I think Brock is of that similar mold. I mean, he is phenomenal at what he does and what we ask him to do. And we're going to continue to put more on his plate.
All right, let's talk about Southern Illinois coming to town on Saturday, 2:30 p.m. kick. They're coming off coming off a win last Saturday. They defeated Austin Peay 49-23 down in Carbondale. Thomas and their quarterback Nick Baker, Missouri Valley Conference Offensive Player of the Week. His 7th time he's won that in his career. He's coming off throwing 220 yards or close to that, 3 touchdowns. Tell me a little bit about Southern Illinois as they come in on Saturday.
Good football team. They have our full attention. They do a lot of things from a schematic standpoint that test you. And so we got to be on our P's and Q's as far as discipline, eye discipline, focus, but it's all about us at the end of the day, how we prepare, how we attack the week, the mentality we have going into the week. But this is a good football team with a quarterback that can do it all. They got skilled players that can make guys miss in space, and they have an attacking defense. I mean, they play some 3 down, they play some 4 down. They'll try to mix it up and bring different guys from different spots. So we have to make sure we put a lot of time and effort into the preparation this week so we can play our best.
Thomas, what was the best thing that came out of Saturday for your team moving forward and getting ready for Southern Illinois?
Well, aside from the fact that we can play better and we still won, the confidence that the young men had, there was no flinch, no panic on the sideline. Guys were confident. They felt like, they were the better team, and we will keep playing until we have one more point than those guys. And they never flinched. I mean, when we was up 14 in the 4th, they came back and tied it. They stayed one snap mentality, and I think that goes a long way over a long season. Not riding the emotional wave of highs and lows of football. So we've talked about fighting for consistency and fighting for a standard, and I think our players are certainly doing that.
Looking forward to the next one. NIU taking on Southern Illinois at home on Saturday, 2:30 p.m. Coach, looking forward to it. Congratulations on Saturday. Let's go get Saturday taking on the Salukis.
Thank you, and go Huskies.
Husky fans, it's finally getting here close. Saturday, home opener, NIU 1-0 after defeating Boston College. We're getting ready for Southern Illinois at Huskie Stadium on Saturday. I got the chance here to bring in Briana Tallitsch, Assistant Athletic Director for Ticket Operations, because, Briana, we have a lot to talk about. There's a lot going on, Briana, so we have to make sure everybody's good. But first things first, Briana, good to have you on the show. And if you're getting tickets, a lot of people already have tickets, but we still have season tickets available, Briana. We have mini plans. We've got even single game tickets still available, Briana. So tell the fans, if you don't have your ticket yet, or you're still thinking about plans, some of the different options they have and how they get those tickets.
Yeah, so tickets are available online on our website. If you go to niuhuskies.com/myhuskies, you can go in and see all the single game mini plan and season ticket options. As always, season tickets are going to be your best value at this point in the season, and they are still available through the first game. You can buy single game tickets online or on walk-up. There are a couple of changes that we'll talk about a little later in our walk-up ticket structure this year, but we definitely suggest in order to save money and in order to choose your location that you purchase tickets ahead of time, whether you're buying your season tickets or single game.
Yeah. NIUHuskies.com too. You can get your tickets in 815-753-PACK, 815-753-7225. Again, the season tickets is like you talked about. That's like the plan. You get the best deals, and there's some really good deals going on right now this week. And there's always some really nice pop-ups you guys do with tickets as well. But is that the two best places, online and the phone?
Yeah, absolutely. So the 753-PACK number is going to connect you with all the members of my team. So anybody can help you out, get tickets over the phone. We are at the Convocation Center Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. So if you wanted to come in person, you can do that as well. But online is going to be, your easiest option, even if you're, states away.
Awesome. So I got my tickets right. And again, we want families and fans to get those tickets in advance. And I know you want them to download those tickets on the phone, right? Is that the correct way and the best way, Briana?
Yes. So if you have not chosen to pick up your tickets on will call on game day, if you have mobile tickets, you are going to want to have that done in advance. If you wait till you get to the stadium, there's a likelihood that the Wi-Fi will be overwhelmed and it'll take a really long time to get onto the Wi-Fi and get your tickets, and it may delay getting into the game. So the best way is before you even arrive in DeKalb, go in and download your tickets, either from the email that you receive when you purchase your tickets or from your My Huskies account. Again, that's niuhuskies.com/myhuskies, and you would log in with the email address that you use to create the account. You can download those tickets into your digital wallet, either your Apple Wallet or your Google Wallet, and then it does not rely on the Wi-Fi. Those tickets are saved locally on your phone. So you can get to it, even if Wi-Fi were to explode on game day, you could still get to your tickets.
Yeah, that's awesome. Again, we're talking to Briana Tallitsch, talking about ticket operations and tickets and everything going on at Huskie Stadium as we get ready for the home opener versus Southern Illinois. All right, we got our tickets, Briana, but tell me a little bit about parking, because you have some free lots, and I know the Husky Athletic Fund members also have their parking as well.
Yeah, so the Convocation Center lots that surround the Convocation Center just west of the stadium, those are included. The cost of those ticket or parking is included in your tickets. So when you purchased your single game tickets, it was included in the cost of your ticket. Or if you purchase season tickets, it was included in that $25 parking fee that comes with your renewal. So there's no cash collected in the lots on game day. You just show up at park. For those who are looking for parking a little bit closer to the stadium, we do have donor parking lots. So those are kind of under the umbrella of the Husky Athletic Fund, and they would involve a donation depending on which lot you were looking to park in. People who already have those lots, who may not receive their parking pass in time if something gets held up in the postal system, there are going to be pass lists that are available at each lot. So your respective lot, whatever you're supposed to have to be able to park in, you can show up, you can give your name, and you can go in. So nobody should be asked to pay anything on game day when they arrive, regardless of if they have a donor lot or if they're parking in the Convocation Center lots. And that's then awesome. All of those lots, all of them open 5 hours prior to kickoff. So you're able to start tailgating that early.
Yeah, it's cool. And again, I hope a lot of fans do take advantage of those convocation lots because they're free. You can tailgate, get there 5 hours beforehand. And again, if you got the Husky Athletic Fund and that's part of your ticket package too, you got the parking close to Husky Stadium as well. Okay, we know a lot of fans want to tailgate. We hope fans do that. But maybe you want to walk over to the yard on the west side of Husky Stadium. And the yard's been a really great addition the last couple of years to Husky Stadium and the fan excitement of Husky Stadium and game day being over at the yard. And I know in the past there's bands, Briana, and there's been big screens to watch some games going on. And is that kind of what's going on again this year in the yard?
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to be doing live band for the home opener. They're going to have the big stage and the big screen. Marketing is going to be out there with some promotions, some giveaways. There's a kids zone with inflatables, and Husky Marching Band comes by and does their performance. If you have tickets to the HAF hospitality tent, that's where that is located as well. So that's a little bit of a pregame kind of food and beverage option. Victory, mission, the whole shebang.
Yeah. That's cool. It's been helpful for my kids too. Want to just get in the inflatables, have some nice inflatables, some nice games for the kids.
Yeah.
And again, the big screens and the bands, and there's a lot of excitement going on in the yard, and that's on the west side of Huskie Stadium as well. Okay, so we've done some things outside, Briana, and we want to go inside. And I know you want to, save yourself some time. There's a clear bag policy, so Briana, we want to make sure fans know about that as well.
Yes, yeah. So the clear bag policy is in place for Huskie Stadium for all home football games. Anything that is bigger than about half a sheet of paper, it's 5.5 inches by 3.5 inches by 8.5, I believe. So that's going to be your anything bigger than that has got to be clear. So you would need to swing by. I know that some of the local retailers are selling clear bags that are branded with NIU logos. If you don't have anything fancy like that, you can use a Ziploc bag. That'll work just as well, just gallon Ziploc. Toss what you need in it and just leave the rest in your car. There is an exception for medical bags and for infant care bags, although those will be searched when you get there. Just be aware that anything that is not a medical or infant bag that is larger than about a half a sheet of standard size paper is going to need to stay in the car.
Yeah, cool. Good to know. Yeah, good to know about the clear bag policy. And again, if your fans coming into the stadium, give yourself about 15, 20 minutes before kickoff, Briana? Is that kind of what we're asking?
Yeah. Once the yard starts to shut down, people kind of flock to the gates. So you're going to want to definitely give yourself enough time to wait in line. Maybe get there just a little bit earlier than everybody else so that you don't have to wait in line. And then if you're looking to purchase tickets on game day for just the single game, you're going to want to either go online in order to pick your seat. So from this season on, we're going to just do best available on walk-up. So you can purchase online on your phone when you're at Huskie Stadium, on the way to Huskie Stadium, or when you're at home before you leave and get all your tickets downloaded and everything. If you do wait and you purchase at walk-up, it's going to be best available. You just give us your section that you want to sit in, and we'll give you the best available in that section for the number of seats that you need.
That's cool. Good stuff to know. Okay, we're inside the stadium, and you know what fans have been asking, and they've been delivered. There's some new concessions inside. I know Hy-Vee's on the southwest side. Chicken Salad Chick is going to be inside as well. Sweet Butts Cotton Candy. I love cotton candy. I wish I could get some on the sidelines every now and then, Briana. You know what I mean? But that's throughout the stadium. Tangled Roots, Pollyanna Craft Beer available. So, Briana, you guys have done a good job of that fan experience. And I know people have asked for more concessions, more opportunities, more options, and we're getting that this year.
Yeah, absolutely. We also have Takis to go on the northeast side. So we're kind of you got your sweets, you got your savories, you got your fried food, whatever you're looking for, we can provide it. So hopefully an improved concession experience, just like I said, fans were asking and we're delivering. Really
good stuff, Briana. Again, it's just kind of wanting that fan experience to be the best it can be. And I think you guys are doing a great job of trying to make that as easy as you can. And we also want to remind fans too, all the concessions are cashless. Okay, so we need to make sure on that as well. So cashless stuff at the concession stands. All right, we got our tickets. We got to get our tickets. One more mention, NIUHuskies.com, 815-753-PACK, 815-753-7225. Briana, you guys are doing a great job, and I know you guys are excited to have all the fans back at Huskie Stadium.
Oh, yeah. This home opener game is always the most exciting. Everybody's ready for football season, and I'm ready to get going.
Briana, I appreciate the time. Thank you very much.
Of course, thank you.
So this year on NIU Weekly, again, we're doing our weekly segment with the voice of the Huskies, Bill Baker, again, retiring after 44 years. We call it Looking Back with Bill Baker. This week, Bill and I talk about how he got the start at NIU. Take a listen. We continue our series looking back and talking to the voice of the Huskies, Bill Baker, retiring after 44 years behind the mic. And Bill, but for our first series, I asked you how you got into sports broadcasting, but I think most fans maybe know a little bit, but maybe don't know the whole story about how your career with NIU began. Go ahead.
Well, I've been doing a lot of high school work since that first game, that first series back in '69 with sophomore football with the old WGSB. Spent 4 years in the Air Force, which kind of took me away. Although I did have the opportunity to call a state high school semifinal game. We're stationed in San Antonio down in the Astrodome while I was down there in training. Just kind of kept my foot wet and everything. But I came back and I continued like the high school game until all of a sudden it was 1980. It was March of 1980. Doing the state tournament down in Champaign-Urbana. There was a row of like 30 radio stations courtside. The guy right next to me was Jim Feather, and he was the owner/sports director. I think he did everything at WRHL in Rochelle. And we had finished one series of games, and he says, "Come over here." We walked into the tunnel. He says, "I want to talk to you." And he told me that NIU was looking to revive the NIU Husky Sports Network, and that he thought I should give them a call. And he gave me Bud Nagle's name, and Bud I knew from doing some super sectionals out there. And he gave me Jerry Apolloni's name, but I knew Jerry a little bit, and I knew of Bob Brigham. I did not know him personally as the athletic director, but he said you need to call him. And I remember walking out of that tunnel, going back to my broadcast position, thinking, I want this job. I've got to get this job. I want this job. And come Monday morning, 5 minutes after 9 o'clock, I get to the station. Mind you, there's no email back in 1980s. I have to take up these phone numbers, and the first guy I called is Bud Nagle, and Bud was there so many years, and we knew each other, and he was great. And he says, "I'm going to send you right to Jerry Apolloni." And Jerry and I began to talk, and Jerry says, "Why don't you come out?" We came out. We had 2 meetings, Jerry Apolloni and I once, and then Jerry Apolloni, myself, and Bob Brigham the second time. And after the second meeting, I remember them saying, Bert, we want somebody with stability and longevity. And I think it was Bob Brigham who just kind of tossed his hands in the air and said, 20 years would be good. Well, I hope you guys are happy with this, because it's been 43, 44 now, going on to this one. Now the rest is history. Began the stint in September of 1980 with that first football game.
How much did you know of NIU before, Bill? You wanted the job. What was your history with NIU before you got hired?
Not a lot of history. I wanted to go to NIU, actually. Yeah. I knew about it when I was in Lane Tech, and I was a senior, but, financially it just wouldn't work out. It's too far away. So I wound up going to Illinois Teachers College. Never wanted to be a teacher. Trust me. They handed me a book in my freshman year, The Philosophy of Education. I knew it wasn't going to work, and it didn't. And I wasn't the greatest student. That's when I decided I'd enlist in the Air Force. I wanted to learn something. I figure if I give them 4 years, I will learn a little bit, and I did. But I knew of Northern. Then coming back and doing those high school games, NIU would always host a super sectional or two. And I'd be out there. So that's how I got to know Bud Nagle a little bit. So, but really, that plus the fact that at the time, going back into now we got all these different dates and everything. Going back into the early 70s, my fiance, who's now my wife, was attending NIU. She's a College of Education major in the class of 1974. So I kind of knew it there, and we had gone to a football game. Went to one of the doubleheaders at the Chicago Stadium. I think it was against South Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. So she dragged me all over the place. And that's basically the story. But once I heard from Jim Feather, I just had to be there.
One final question to wrap up this part, Bill, is when did you feel comfortable in the chair? Was it the first year, Bill? Did you feel like, okay, I've got this? This is something I want to do for a long time. When did you feel comfortable in the chair?
Right from the get-go. I don't know why. Right from the get-go. I sat in not too many chairs doing high school basketball. I used to sit around the bleachers a little bit. But I'd done plenty of them. I was comfortable with it. I was ready for it. Lord knows I spent the rest of that summer in 1980 from May until September poring over rosters and history and coaches and nicknames and opponents and everything else. But honestly, Andy, I felt I was ready to go when it happened.
Very cool. 44 years, voice of the Huskies. More to come with our series as we look back with the voice of the Huskies, Bill Baker. Always fun talking to Bill Baker again, the voice of the Huskies, retiring after 44 years after football. Upcoming schedule, except for football, everyone's on the road, plus the men's and women's golf teams get their fall portion of their schedules underway. Again, stay tuned, NIUHuskies.com. All the information, all the schedules, the results, that'll be online. Because volleyball is at the DePaul Invitational in Chicago. Men's soccer's at Northwestern on Friday. Saturday, we got volleyball again at DePaul. We got football home. We'll talk about that versus Southern Illinois. Women's soccer at Southern Indiana on Sunday. Men's and women's golf. Men are in Minneapolis for an invitational. Women's golf is in Normal, Illinois. at the Redbird Invitational. That's on Sunday. And then Monday, golf continues for both men's and women's on the road. And Tuesday, September 12th, men's soccer takes on Milwaukee at Milwaukee. First things first, again, if you haven't gotten your tickets to the home opener, NIU football taking on Southern Illinois, get your tickets. NIUHuskies.com or call 815-753-PACK. That's 815-753-7225. We expect to have everyone out at Huskie Stadium on Saturday, taking on Southern Illinois. It's going to be a beautiful day. Great weather is expected. Kickoff at 2:30 as the Huskies try to go 2-0. Don't forget, we'll be on the radio 2:00 on the Husky Sports Network. Bill Baker, Mark Lindo, myself. So give us a call or give us a listen. And you can call me if you want, but I'll be on the radio, so I won't be able to answer. But just listen to us on the radio. Again, kickoff at 2:30 p.m. Thank you for watching. Don't forget, subscribe to this YouTube page, NIU Athletics. Like, subscribe. You can see different highlights, different shows like this one, and hopefully nice, good highlights like we had last week when NIU beat Boston College. Thank you for watching. Until next week, go Huskies.